All right, everybody, we're going to do a deboned turkey. We're going to brine and smoke and make super delicious. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and debone this. I'm going to show you how we do this. Flip it upside down here. I'm going to take a sharp boning knife and I'm just going to cut right alongside the spine. And all you're going to do is just going to follow that meat line. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start peeling it off, just like this. And just kind of guide it down in an angle. All right, so here we're just following the bone here and just taking the meat off. And you're going to run into a joint right over here that attaches to the thigh bone right here. So you see I've just covered it. You can see where it's kind of knuckled out. When you get to the bone, one of the easiest ways to get through this is just to take a pair of poultry scissors here. Got a pair of poultry scissors. And I'm just going to get in there. And then we're going to actually just twist it. Further. You could cut right through it with the poultry shears, but you don't have to. So once you get a grip, I'm just going to twist. And you see how that desockets it right there? Just like that. And when that's happened, I can take my boning knife and I can cut right through the ligaments that are keeping it connected, just like that. Okay? Okay, you can. All right, so we've detached this over here, and then we've also got one that's connected to the wing. You can just bend it back with your hand if you want. You can chop through it, or again, you can use the same technique. Just go in with the poultry shears and then twist to reveal the joint, just like that. Okay. Of course, I got poultry shears. Just literally just go right through it, like that. So now that we've cleared this side, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I've just turned it so I can continue working with my right hand. If you want to work the other way, you can just turn it like so. So you're working with your dominant hand, whether that's your right or left. All right, so now that I've went ahead and followed the line here, we've cut up most of the breast meat here. So now I'm going to come underneath here, and we're just going to come right here and follow. We got to do that again. Mom! Okay, so now that we've come all the way around the sides here, this is still the back, the spine. I'm just going to come right here, and we're now going to follow just along and separate the rest from here. Okay? And basically we're going to keep the breast meat in contact with each other, so it's all going to be one piece. Just like that. All right, so we're just finishing here detaching the carcass from the meat here. And I'll show you what we're looking at in a second. And then it's just a little bit more work for us to do after this. Okay, so I'm going to reserve everything here because we're going to actually turn this into a demi-glace in a little bit. So at this point, let's show you what we're dealing with here. We've got everything still connected here. Okay, so you've got the chicken breast, the dark meat. What we're now going to do is I'm going to go ahead and actually debone the legs and the wings, and I'll show you how we do that in a second. Okay, so now the chicken wings, there's actually not very much in terms of meat on it, but there's a lot of collagen and cartilage here. This is really helpful for us in what we're going to want to do. So we can go ahead and take this part off here, and we're going to turn this into part of the demi-glace. All right, this is the trickiest part of deboning a turkey. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually start to debone this without actually cutting it apart. So let me show you how we do it. I'm going to follow the bone. You can see the separation of the meat fibers and even this kind of fat layer here. So you see how my finger's going? That's my guide. So I'm just going to take the bone and follow this right along this here. Okay, to begin to separate. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take that knife edge and you're just going to come right around that bone slowly. Like this. We're going to do the same thing on this leg right here. I'm going to come right down just like this, straight line, and you're trying to stay right on that bone, just like that. Okay, and then I'm just going to peel it around. See how the bone is revealing itself? We're just coming right around with the boning knife, You keep an angle. You're going to wrap right around that bone and keep that meat intact. Just like that. I'll keep working on this.
Stop.
All right, so once you get to this point here and you have enough room to get the knife under the bone, all you're going to do is get that knife under the bone, just like so, and I'm going to run it right under here, like that, and that frees up the bone, see? And now I can come in from this side and come back around. Okay, so now we've taken both bones out here. Okay, so now, next thing. All of these are tendons, and these tendons, if you've ever bitten into a turkey leg, that's not good eats. So let me show you what we're going to do here. I'm going to take a pair of pliers, heavy-duty pliers, and you're going to grab these guys, and it does take some manhandling, so get a good grip on these guys, and you're just going to pull those tendons right out, just like pulling bones from a fish. Get a good grip and just yank. Okay, so now we've taken all the tendons out, and now I'm just going to work with the wings here, this wing section, and I'm going to basically follow the same procedure. I'm just guiding right across that bone. Nothing's different here. It's really the same technique, just like that. And we're just going to follow that bone right down to the end of it. Cut around the bone, like so, just like that. And then the moment that I can slip a knife right under it, like this, I can do that. See? Except I'm on the wrong side. Come over here. So you get the knife under, like so. Just come right across. And then I can come the other way and just work the meat right off the bone, like so. And you're just going to cut the joint right out. Okay, let's be deboned. That's it. All right, so now that I've deboned it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate the leg quarters here from the chicken, or the turkey breast rather, just like this, because these guys are going to cook to a higher temperature, under 60 degrees. Here I go, same with this one. But I'm going to leave the chicken breast, or the turkey breast, all intact as one piece, just like that, okay?
Okay.
All right, so now what we're doing is I've just laid this out on a rack. Notice I'm got it raised on a rack, skin side up. We're gonna stick this in the fridge to dry out a little bit overnight. Now, this is a very unique technique. You won't see this anywhere else, and there's a reason we do this. So basically what we're doing is we're letting the skin dry out to get crispy skin. We're also letting some of the moisture evaporate from the meat. What we're gonna do then is we're gonna stick this into a concentrated brine for about 12 hours or so. Because the meat would have dehydrated some, it's gonna soak up all that brine, which is going to bring in not just moisture, but also some flavor into the meat.
Sure.
All right, so now what we're going to do is we've got the carcass here, all the tendons, all the connected tissues. We're going to roast this in an oven 350 degrees for a few hours. This is going to let it caramelize, turn a golden brown, and really concentrate the flavors. And then we're going to turn it into a stock that will eventually become the demi-glace. So I've got some actually pretty high quality tomato paste here. This is actually a traditional technique. We're going to add some tomato paste. You don't need that much, but this is plenty, and I'm just going to rub it all around. So now this has been roasted in the oven. I'm going to go ahead and stick this in a large stock pot, fill it with water, and just start the simmering process and let it simmer for quite a long time. So this is the demi-glace. Still extracting flavors from this. So we're checking into our stock with Max over here and Ivy. They're loving the smells of it. They're like, when can we have some? Look how rich that is. We're about, I don't know, 6 hours in. We're going to go for quite some more time. And yeah, I just want to show you the texture a little bit. Obviously, it's falling apart. And what we're trying to do is we're breaking down the collagen all the connective tissues into gelatin, and that gelatin is going to really form this really wonderful base that we'll be able to cook down into an actual glaze. So I'll show you what it looks like in a little bit. All right, this has been cooking for quite some time. I'm going to show you a trick. I've strained it out completely. Because we're going to reduce this later, we can go ahead and add ice directly to it. It's going to add some more volume, but the most important thing is it's going to chill it very fast. We want to bring this temperature down to under 40 degrees as fast as possible. We're going to let it separate a little bit. The fat's going to harden, and then we're going to be able to scrape off and separate the fat and then reduce it further. All right, the sauce has been reducing. You can see it's getting super concentrated now. Look at that color. So what I've done also is started to begin seasoning, and we're getting close to the level we want it. You don't want to add too much seasoning because as it concentrates, it could get too salty. So I've added some red wine. You can whatever red wine you like. It's optional. I've added a splash of some high quality soy sauce and some chipotle pepper as well, just for some complexity. And I'll be adding some garlic and a bit of other seasonings, a little bit just in the form of garlic powder. Here's another cool trick. After you reduce it to the demi-glace, we're going to pour this into silicone molds and then freeze them. Then we'll have these available as flavor bombs all year round.